You know the feeling all too well. It's that persistent, low-grade hum of anxiety that follows you from the moment your alarm blares in the morning until your head finally hits the pillow at night. You feel perpetually tired, yet your mind refuses to switch off. You find yourself snapping at loved ones over small things, feeling a constant pressure in your chest, and wondering why you can't just relax and enjoy the moment. This isn't just a bad day or a stressful week. For many of us, this has become the background noise of our lives. It's a state of being constantly on, where even moments of rest feel unproductive or laced with guilt. This experience is incredibly common, yet we often internalize it as a personal failure. We tell ourselves we need to be more organized, manage our time better, or simply have more willpower. We download productivity apps, make endless to-do lists, and try to power through the exhaustion with another cup of coffee. But the fatigue deepens, the irritability sharpens, and the sense of being overwhelmed grows. You might notice your sleep is unrefreshing, your digestion feels off, or you're catching every cold that goes around. These are not isolated problems. They are interconnected signals from your body that something is fundamentally out of balance. What if I told you that this state of chronic stress has less to do with your character or your organizational skills and everything to do with your biology? What if the solution isn't about trying harder, but about understanding the elegant ancient machinery of your own nervous system? The feeling of being stuck in high gear isn't a metaphor. It's a physiological reality. Your body believes it is in a constant state of emergency, and it's responding exactly as it was designed to. The problem is that the emergencies of modern life are emails, deadlines, and traffic jams, not the life or death threats our systems evolved to handle. The good news is that you are not broken. Your body is working perfectly, but it's operating on an outdated program that needs a manual update. By understanding the science behind your stress response, you can gain access to the control panel. You can learn to consciously and deliberately shift your own physiological state from one of high alert to one of deep calm. This essay will provide you with the knowledge and the tools to do just that. We will explore the specific biological mechanisms at play and give you simple, actionable protocols to regain control over your well-being, one breath at a time. The power to change this is already within you. To understand stress, you first need to understand a critical part of your nervous system called the autonomic nervous system. This system works automatically, in the background, without your conscious thought. It controls vital functions like your heart rate, breathing, digestion, and blood pressure. Think of it as your body's internal operating system, managing the core processes that keep you alive. This system is divided into two main branches, and the balance between them is the absolute key to managing stress and promoting recovery. Understanding these two branches is the first step toward taking back control of your physiological state. The first branch is the sympathetic nervous system. I want you to think of this as your body's gas pedal. When you perceive a threat or a challenge, whether it's a looming deadline, an angry email, or the genuine danger of a car swerving toward you, this system kicks into high gear. It floods your body with adrenaline and cortisol, the primary stress hormones. Your heart rate increases, your pupils dilate, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid, and blood is diverted away from your digestive system and toward your large muscle groups. This is the famous fight-or-flight response designed to prepare you for immediate, intense physical action to ensure your survival. The second branch is the parasympathetic nervous system. If the sympathetic system is the gas pedal, the parasympathetic system is your body's brake pedal. This is your rest and digest or rest and repair system. When it's active, your heart rate slows down, your breathing deepens, and blood flow returns to your internal organs, supporting digestion, nutrient absorption, and cellular repair. This is the state of calm, recovery, and healing. It's the state you're in when you feel safe, relaxed, and connected. Without regular activation of this brake pedal, your body never gets the chance to recover from the demands placed upon it. In a healthy, well-regulated nervous system, these two branches work in a beautiful, dynamic balance. The gas pedal gets you up and moving when you need energy and focus, and the brake pedal allows you to slow down, recover, and recharge afterward. You press the gas to handle a challenge, and then you ease onto the brake to return to a state of equilibrium. The problem in our modern world is that most of us are driving with our foot slammed on the gas pedal all day long. We rarely, if ever, consciously and deliberately engage the brake. This chronic imbalance is the biological root of what we experience as chronic stress. Our stress response system is a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. It was designed over hundreds of thousands of years to solve one primary problem: immediate threats to our physical survival. When our ancestors on the savannah encountered a predator, like a lion, the sympathetic nervous system would instantly activate. This surge of adrenaline and cortisol was incredibly useful. It provided the energy needed to either fight the threat or, more likely, to flee from it. This acute stress response was designed to be intense, brief, and followed by a period of profound rest and recovery once the danger had passed. The threat was real, physical, and short-lived. The critical feature of this ancient system is that it does not distinguish between a real, life-threatening danger and a perceived psychological one. Your brain and body react to a stressful work email with the same basic chemical cascade that they would to seeing a lion. The abstract pressures of modern life, financial worries, social obligations, constant digital notifications, and the 24-hour news cycle are all interpreted by your ancient nervous system as threats. Because these modern stressors are persistent and often ambiguous, they keep the gas pedal of your sympathetic nervous system pressed down almost continuously. The lion never leaves the room. Unlike our ancestors, we rarely get the physical release that the fight-or-flight response is designed to fuel. You can't physically run away from your inbox or fight your credit card bill. As a result, the stress hormones and the physiological arousal just keep circulating in your system with no resolution. Your body is primed for an intense physical battle that never comes. This creates a state of chronic activation. Your system is constantly preparing for a sprint, but you remain sitting in your chair. This mismatch between our ancient biological hardware and our modern software is the central dilemma of chronic stress. This is why you feel so exhausted. Being in a constant state of high alert is incredibly energy-intensive. Your body is burning through its metabolic resources at an alarming rate just to maintain this level of vigilance. After a while, the systems responsible for producing stress hormones can become dysregulated, leading to a feeling of being both wired and tired. You have all the agitation of being stressed but none of the available energy. Your body is screaming for a break, but your mind, caught in the loop of modern pressures, keeps signaling that the threat is still present, keeping the gas pedal firmly on the floor. When your sympathetic nervous system is chronically engaged, the consequences ripple through every aspect of your health and well-being. This isn't just about feeling mentally frazzled, it's about a cascade of tangible physical symptoms that emerge from this state of biological imbalance. One of the most common signs is persistent fatigue. As mentioned, maintaining a state of high alert consumes a massive amount of energy. Your body is constantly mobilizing resources for a fight that never happens, leaving you feeling drained and depleted, even after a full night's sleep. This isn't laziness, it's a predictable outcome of metabolic exhaustion. Another significant consequence is the impact on your metabolism and body composition, particularly the accumulation of belly fat. The primary stress hormone, cortisol, plays a crucial role here. In acute situations, cortisol helps mobilize glucose for energy, but when it's chronically elevated, it signals your body to store visceral fat, which is the fat that accumulates around your internal organs in the abdominal area. This type of fat is metabolically active and is strongly linked to an increased risk for cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. So, that stubborn belly fat may not just be about diet and exercise, it could be a direct result of chronic stress. Your cognitive function also takes a major hit. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus, planning, and decision-making, does not function optimally under conditions of high stress. Instead, brain activity shifts to more primitive, reactive areas like the amygdala. This leads to what many people describe as brain fog, difficulty concentrating, poor memory, and a feeling of mental slowness. You might find yourself making impulsive decisions or struggling to solve problems that would normally be straightforward. Again, this is not a personal failing. It is a predictable neurochemical shift designed to prioritize immediate survival over long-term planning. Finally, a chronically activated stress response wreaks havoc on your digestive and immune systems. The rest and digest functions are suppressed when you're in fight or flight mode. This can lead to a host of digestive issues, from indigestion and bloating to more serious conditions like irritable bowel syndrome. Simultaneously, chronic cortisol can suppress your immune system, making you more susceptible to frequent colds, infections, and viruses. If you feel like you're always sick, bloated, and can't think straight, it's a strong sign that your nervous system is stuck in overdrive and desperately needs a break. Many people who suffer from chronic stress feel trapped in a frustrating cycle. They know they need to relax, but they simply can't. They lie in bed at night, their thoughts racing, their heart pounding, and command themselves to just calm down, but nothing happens. This experience can lead to immense frustration and a sense of personal failure, as if they lack the mental discipline to control their own state. The critical thing to understand is that this is not a failure of willpower. You cannot simply think your way out of a physiological state that is deeply rooted in your biology. Your body is behaving exactly as it should, given the signals it is receiving. The core of the issue lies in the feedback loops within your nervous system. When you are chronically stressed, your brain and body become habituated to a state of high alert. The baseline level of your nervous system activation gets recalibrated to a higher set point. This means that your body starts to interpret even neutral situations as potentially threatening, creating a self-perpetuating cycle of anxiety and arousal. It's like turning up the sensitivity on a smoke detector until it goes off from a piece of toast. Your threat detection system becomes overly sensitive, making it harder and harder to return to a true state of calm. This biological reality explains why common advice like think positive or don't worry often fails. Telling someone with a dysregulated nervous system not to worry is like telling someone with a fever not to be hot. The state they are in is driven by powerful neurochemical and hormonal processes that are not under direct conscious control. The elevated cortisol, the rapid heart rate, and the shallow breathing are all physical signals that reinforce the brain's perception of threat. To break the cycle, you need to intervene at the level of the body, not just at the level of thought. You need to send new signals to your brain that communicate safety. This is where the feeling of being stuck comes from. Your conscious mind, located in the prefrontal cortex, wants to calm down, but the more primitive, automatic parts of your brain and your body are screaming danger. The automatic systems will always win that battle because they are faster and more powerful, designed for the express purpose of keeping you alive. Therefore, the feeling of being unable to relax is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that your body's survival mechanisms are functioning perfectly, but they are being triggered inappropriately by the chronic, low-grade stressors of the modern world. It is absolutely essential to internalize this core message. Your struggle with stress, anxiety, and burnout is not a reflection of a flawed character. It is not because you are weak, undisciplined, or incapable. It is the result of a profound mismatch between your ancient biological programming and the relentless demands of the environment you live in today. Our nervous systems evolved for a world of immediate physical threats followed by periods of rest, not for a world of back-to-back Zoom meetings, constant social media notifications, and persistent financial anxiety. You are running hardware from the Stone Age on software from the 21st century. This biological mismatch places an enormous burden on our physiology. We blame ourselves for feeling irritable, for being unable to focus, or for carrying extra weight around our midsection. We add "be less stressed" to our to-do list, as if it were another task to accomplish through sheer force of will. This approach is not only ineffective, but it also adds another layer of stress, the stress of feeling like you are failing at relaxation. This self-blame is counterproductive and scientifically inaccurate. It ignores the fundamental nature of the autonomic nervous system, which operates largely outside of our conscious command. Recognizing this mismatch is the first and most crucial step toward genuine change. It allows you to shift your perspective from one of self-criticism to one of self-compassion and curiosity. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you can start asking, "What is my body experiencing, and what does it need right now?" This shift empowers you to stop fighting against your own biology and start working with it. You can become an active operator of your own nervous system rather than a passive victim of its automatic reactions. The goal is not to eliminate stress entirely. Acute stress can be beneficial, but to become skilled at navigating it and returning to a calm baseline. This understanding provides immense hope. If the problem were a fundamental flaw in your character, the path forward would be unclear. But since the problem is a biological mismatch, the solution is also biological. There are concrete, physical, and scientifically validated tools that you can use to interact directly with your nervous system. You can learn to send your brain and body powerful signals of safety that will override the constant signals of threat. You don't need to become a different person. You just need to learn how to use the equipment you were born with more effectively in the context of the modern world. The most powerful discovery in modern neuroscience is that we have the ability to consciously influence our autonomic nervous system. While this system is largely automatic, there are specific gateways through which we can intentionally take control. These are not complex psychological techniques. They are simple, body-based tools that allow you to manually apply your parasympathetic brake pedal. The most direct and effective of these gateways is your breath. Your pattern of breathing is unique because it is both an automatic process and one that you can consciously control. This dual nature makes it a powerful lever for shifting your physiological state. One of the most effective protocols for rapidly reducing stress is the physiological sigh. This is something you do spontaneously when you cry or sob, and it's your body's innate way of offloading stress. To do it deliberately, you take 2 consecutive sharp inhales through your nose, the first one deep, followed by a second, smaller inhale to fully inflate the tiny air sacs in your lungs. Then, you perform a long, complete exhale through your mouth. Just 1 to 3 rounds of the physiological sigh can immediately trigger a shift toward a more parasympathetic state, slowing your heart rate and inducing a sense of calm. This is a real-time tool you can use anywhere. Another powerful set of tools involves mindful movement and stretching. When you are stressed, your muscles tense up in preparation for fight or flight. Gently stretching your body sends sensory information back to your brain that the need for that tension has passed. Simple neck rolls, shoulder shrugs, or a forward fold can help release this stored physical tension. Practices like yoga or Tai Chi are built around this principle, synchronizing breath with movement to intentionally down-regulate the nervous system. You don't need a full hour-long class. Even 5 minutes of intentional stretching at your desk can signal to your body that it is safe to relax. Finally, you can use your senses to ground yourself in the present moment and signal safety to your brain. This is often called a grounding exercise. Take a moment to deliberately notice your environment. Identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, the chair beneath you, the texture of your clothes, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This practice pulls your attention out of the anxious, future-oriented thoughts in your head and into the physical reality of the present. It tells your nervous system that right here, right now, there is no immediate threat. These tools are simple, but their effect on your biology is profound. The journey out of chronic stress is not a sprint. It is a gradual process of retraining your nervous system. The goal is not to achieve a permanent state of bliss, but to develop the flexibility to move between states of alertness and calm with greater ease and intention. The tools we have discussed are not a one-time fix, but rather skills to be practiced. Like learning any new skill, it requires consistency and patience. The beauty is that you can start right now, today, with a single, small step. You do not need to overhaul your entire life to begin making a meaningful difference in your well-being. I encourage you to pick just one tool and integrate it into your day. Perhaps you will practice the physiological sigh 3 times before a stressful meeting. Maybe you will take a 5-minute break in the afternoon to stretch and notice your breath. Or perhaps you will simply pause for 60 seconds to feel your feet on the floor and listen to the sounds around you. These small, deliberate actions are like deposits into your physiological bank account. Over time, they build a powerful reserve of resilience, making it easier for your nervous system to return to its calm, baseline state. Remember that you are working with your body, not against it. As you practice these techniques, you will become more attuned to your body's signals. You will start to notice the subtle signs of rising stress, a tightening in your chest, a clenching in your jaw, much earlier. This awareness is a superpower. It gives you the opportunity to intervene and apply your brake pedal before the stress spirals out of control. You're moving from being a passenger on a runaway train to being the conductor, capable of slowing things down when needed. This is the essence of self-regulation. The path forward is hopeful. You now understand that your feelings of stress and exhaustion are not a personal failing but a biological response to the modern world. More importantly, you now possess the knowledge and the specific, zero-cost tools to begin changing that response. You have the ability to manually shift your own state, to calm your own mind, and to heal your own body. Start small, be consistent, and have compassion for yourself in the process. You have the power to unlock your body's brake pedal and rediscover the sense of calm and vitality that is your birthright. The change is possible, and it begins now.